Alright, back working on the Spotify web mini player. And I've been trying to get it to work where it will show the currently playing song when you hit skip track. And that doesn't seem to work well. Um, I did find one way to get it to work, and that is by, it's like when you hit skip next, it will basically not register that you're on the next song. So one way to do that is to first pause it and then play. So you skip the track, you pause it, and then you play. I don't like this. It actually doesn't even work that well. It does work if you do it slowly. If you try to skip quickly, it doesn't work. So that's one issue. There's some other ways around it. I think you're always going to have to do this though, play and pause. So I could do this and then also add some like polling that it keeps, polling until it finds the right song or whatever, or polls for a certain amount of time afterwards until it gets a song. That could fix some of the issues. It's still not the best. Um, so yeah, it works but not great. So I did some searching on the GitHub issues about something kind of related. It seems like the way to fix it really is just polling, um, making periodic calls to the API, and that could happen after you run this. It could like poll it for like 10 seconds until it updates properly. That's one way to do it. I think regardless of if you skip tracks, it's still gonna have to pause and then play, which is not ideal. Maybe there's another way to do it. I don't know, but there is one other solution, and it's something that I looked at before, and I was concerned because they specifically say, you need Spotify Premium to be able to use it. But I was concerned that, you know, basically I wanted to be able to make it work if you didn't have Spotify Premium, but the web API has those same restrictions as I found out. So that's not an issue anymore. So it's something I'm going to try. One nice thing is it has what I was kind of looking for in the web API, which is listeners. So events come in like when this playback state has changed. So I'm hoping that event is triggered when you skip the track as well. And then it could just get the current song. So I'm hoping that all works. I'm going to try it. I'm going to leave this here for not. Leave this here if not. I'll just maybe work with this. And then, yeah, this delay did not work. But I would do something uh, like I would have a timeout that it would con it would call it would poll until the timeout is finished, like maybe 10 seconds after you skip the track. It would keep checking, getting the current song and updating it. That is the backup plan if nothing else works, but I don't really like it. Another thing I want to do for sure is I don't like how I'm passing this access token around everywhere. I don't like how I have it stored in state currently. So what I want to do is just basically get it to put it in like a global class or an object. So that's one thing I actually want to do now. And then after I get that working, make sure it's still working, you know, not exactly working, but yeah, kind of working, then I will move on to switching over to the Playback SDK. One nice thing about that is I'm still going to be able to reuse the same code that I use for authorization because I looked through how they do the authorization. It's the same. There is some updated code in there in their examples where they use like the URL params. I think URL search params instead of query string. And I think I'll stick with just query string right now. I want to make sure it's not deprecated. If it is, I could switch over, but I don't think it is. Deprecated APIs. Nah, I don't think so. What is this? Is this the same thing? Yeah, it's the same thing. They just had a plural. I was wondering if this is a different thing. Query string. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stick with using query string built-in node module. If there's an issue, I can use the URL search params. URL search params. And let me search that in here. Did they talk about that in here? Yeah, they do. Query string is more performant, but not a standardized API. Okay, well, okay. So I don't really care. The performance, we're not going to see any difference based on what I'm doing, really, but I'm going to stick with query string until not. And I know I read that there was an issue with nested objects, but I'm not dealing with those, so. And maybe that's not even a thing anymore. So I'm going to stick with this, and if there's a reason to switch over, I'll use that. There might be some other code changes that were different in the example I want to update. I noticed they were still using that deprecated request in the updated code example. Let's pull that up. Web playback guide. So request. I think it was request, right? Wait, is that it? Request, yeah. So I'm gonna go through this code, make sure there's nothing that like I want to change in what I have, but for the most part, it looks almost exactly the same. This is one thing I could have done instead of the way I have it set up is using this proxy thing, but that is another dependency which I don't really need. So my setup I think is fine. And then they have some stuff about how to make it work with React, so I'll probably go through that. But for now, let's do this. Oh, there is one other thing I tried. I tried removing this like is playing check, just to see if that was causing some issue. I didn't think it would, or it didn't make sense to me that that would be causing the issue, and it wasn't. So, just something I wanted to try. Let's do this right now. I'll actually leave this here. No, I'll actually cut this, throw it on the app component for now. I don't even have settings, but when I do them, I'm going to do the similar or same pattern as I'm doing with the auth token, so, or the access code. Is that right? What is it? Access token. Okay. So let's do that. So it's going to be in source. We'll throw it in. Where do I want to put this? I could make like a classes folder. I could make an auth folder. Let's just do that. Let's make it capital to say it's basically a class. I don't need to use a class, but I will. It's been a while since I made a class. I prefer not using them. But let's get an example of a class. I don't even remember. Does it have a constructor? This is like one way to do it, like the not as modern syntax, but I'd prefer to use that for now. Especially since the examples are using that. and then maybe switch over later. Okay, so class, you have a constructor. The constructor really is gonna say this dot access token equals blank. It's not gonna take in any params. And then what else? Class body, getter, setter, method, or field. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Get access token. Wait, what was that? Get access token, and then that will be just returning this dot access token. Okay. And what else? Set. Set access token. Okay. I don't need that. This dot access token equals access token. I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else I need? I don't think so. It could be static, really, because there's only ever going to be one. But that's fine. Export default auth. So we're going to actually call the constructor. I think that's it. That's all it is right now. And then let's see, so anywhere I'm passing in an access token, let's actually remove that. So I'm gonna comment that out. What? Is that the same line? Set access token. So let's go with import auth from auth slash auth. I could do index.js export default as auth, and let's just do default from auth. And then in here, I can just do this, I think. Okay, and then auth. So get rid of that. What? Oh, just get rid of this. Oops. Current song, I think it's going to go away based on the new event structure. or how the new thing we're gonna use works. I'm actually gonna get rid of this comment. It doesn't really apply, I don't think. This, I don't need it anywhere in here. I just need it one place. I don't really know what I was thinking putting it everywhere, but it's okay. Let's fix all the issues. Is there still an issue? What's the issue? Where's the problem? I don't know. So that's whatever. Oh, the fact that it doesn't exist. Is that the problem? Might be one problem. Let's actually get rid of that. Get rid of that. I think we're good. Definitely simplified it a lot. So what is the problem here again? We need import auth. That should be good. Why am I still getting an error? Is that, what is that actually? Is that an actual error or what is that? And why can't I see where it is? Oh, here it is. There we go. Okay, let's try to do it again. Constructor auth cannot be invoked without new. What am I thinking? New. There we go. Maximum call stack, set access token. Auth.js. What? Why is that being called so many times? Let's see. Set. Set current name. This logged up push name. What's the problem? Oh, let me see if I take this out. Maximum call stack size exceeded. What am I doing wrong? Oh boy. Let's see. constructor. This dot access token equals empty string get access token set access token access token. I guess you can't do what I'm doing. Thought you could. Really? There's no examples of setters? I don't need to do those set keyword. I could just do a method called set. Hold on, let me look at this again. You know what? Let's just call it new. Not sure this will help, but set access token. What is the issue? This dot name equals name. What? Oh, you don't need a setter. Okay. Ah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Because this is like doing this is like doing this over and over. It makes sense now, actually. It's like doing this over and over, but inside here. As it calls the setter, calls the setter, calls the setter. Gotcha. Okay, I don't need this. It's a public property. So, yeah, we're good. Cannot set property of auth, which only has a getter. What? So what do you do, man? What do you do? I don't get it, man. Oh, now you're encapsulated X, which is now X not being fused. Oh, okay. Okay, I gotcha. Makes sense. Alright. Let's see if that helps. There we go. Alright. Let's see if it works. Still works. Nice. Still doing the previous one. That's okay. Alright, so it seems to work. Much more simple than what I had before. Hmm. Alright, next step is to go to this and bring this back in. Spotify Connect is a feature on Spotify that allows you to use the events as a remote and cast content to different devices. The Web Playback SDK is a client-side library that allows you to create a player instance. Let's start coding. What's the quick start guide? Oh, this is actually the one I wanted to look at. Alright, let's look at this. The following guide will guide you step by step to create a simple client-side access token. So the first thing we need to do is create an application. Already done that. Already did all this. Okay, we're going to start creating a simple, yeah, and they do in fact last for 1 hour, but we already knew that. We're going to start creating a simple template. I actually don't want to do this because it's going to not be using React. I'd rather just go over the other one that uses React. See if there's anything else in here. Web Playback API reference. Right. Okay. Alright. What else is there? Gone through all of them. Probably don't need this anymore. Spotify Connect is a feature. Did I already read this? Yeah, I already did. Okay, we already know that. Source code. Okay, we already knew about all that. Spotify allows developers to authenticate in several ways. Our project will implement that flow, which we've already done. Don't really need this .env because we're doing it differently. Alright, let's see if there's anything different here. Express.env port. So let's just pull up the server. Source. I have the port. Don't need that. I have all this, I have the routes, I have that. Cool. Alright, so let's make sure, I want to walk through each of these and make sure there's nothing way different. So I'm actually going to pull this up on the other screen. It shouldn't be different, but you never know. Let's use the server because it's close enough. Not the server, the auth function. Handler. Okay, handle login. So we have this text. Wait, where is that text? Oh, here it is. Generate random string text. The possible. This loop. Is it the same? Yeah, it's the same. Okay, that's good. Handle login. You have the scope. You have the state. Ah, you could use these slashes here. That's a good idea. But I'm okay with what I have so far. Might need to do different scopes. Might need that streaming thing. We'll see. So we have the state, which is random string 16. Is there any cookie state? They don't use cookies. Res.redirect. They still go to this. They pass it all the stuff. Interesting. Yeah, there's no check like in the other example for if it matches the other one for the state. Do they even have a state? Yeah. So there's really no point in this state, I don't think. But that's fine. We have it in the code we have. It's a little bit better, I think. Auth options, I believe this is the same. It's a post. Same URL, API token. That one's the same. Uses the buffer from. Um, what else? Looks good. And it posts. We use Axios. Then we get all of the access token and the other stuff. It's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit has a little bit less code. Return the access token. What? Maybe that was that thing I deleted. No, that was something else. I use a redirect. I actually like that better. Mm. Alright, whatever. Let's move on. This is front end code, so I will probably refer back to this. Let's keep going with the back end stuff we can. It's all front end. Okay, well, we can start right here, basically. So let's do that. React components, login component. A welcome screen with a nice login button to start the authorization flow. So we already have something like this. This is interesting. So they have this whole response auth token. Yeah, I don't like how they're doing that. I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of what I had before and I got rid of, where they have this token in the state. Let me think about this. Yeah, I don't understand how this exactly works. Because what if the token... Hold on, let me see something. How is the access token stored here? I actually don't get that. Like, where is it getting it from in this example? So, access token, but where is this coming from? Is it global? I don't get it, honestly. I'll have to look at their example to see. It's global. Alright. We don't even need to look at that. It's terrible. Okay, anyways. Moving on. Might be able to use some of the styling that they provide. I don't know. But this web playback is like what I call my player page. So this is really where I need to look at to start, because all this I have handled basically. Um, yeah, this stuff. Document body, append child script. I don't need to do any of this hacky stuff. I don't think I can just throw it in. I can just throw it in my how I had it before. Let's go back to that actually. If I can. So index is in client, index, and then where's the commit or the history? Blame would be one way. Initial commit. Where is this thing? Here we go. So I could throw this back in there. Copy. And this will be the same. So I'll have to figure that out. But for now, let's throw this back where it was before. Client, index, it was just like, where was it? On the top? Did I just close that? I think I did. Let's go look again. Should be above everything, right? Not here. Did I get rid of it here? I'm also wondering that. Yeah, I did. It was below root. I think I want to... Oh, no, that's right. That's a div. Okay, never mind. Alright, this is good. So right here. And that's the same URL, right? SDK, scdn, co, Spotify player.js. Yeah. Okay. And we're gonna get an error. Yeah, this thing. And then we need to basically copy the stuff inside the player thing. Player use effect. Source. Components, not components. Pages. Player page. Is there a use effect in here? I'll throw it in there. Have to throw this as well. This I'll have to figure out. I think all we need to do is do auth dot access token. Set player to player. For now, I'll throw that in there as well. Let's see what we get. Anything? On Spotify, web playback SDK is not defined. Maybe that's why they do that script stuff at the top. Let's just throw it in here for now. And then get rid of it in here for now. See what we get. Alright. Alright, cool. I think I'm gonna stop there for now. We have a good plan. We made some changes. That's fine. Oh, what else did I change in here? Okay, let's commit some of these changes. Especially this one. That one. Alright, cool. So I'll just say use global auth class. All right, I'm gonna stop there, and then come back and try to continue to get this thing working, this playback SDK next time. So thanks for watching. See you next time.